Okay, welcome back everyone to theCUBE's coverage of AWS Summit 2022 in San Francisco, California. We're here live on the floor at Moscone South. Events are back. I'm John Furrier, your host. Remember, AWS Summit 2022 in New York City is coming this summer. We'll be there with the live CUBE there as well. Look for us there, but of course, we're back in action with the cloud and AWS. Our next guest, Garrett Miller, is the General Manager of Navigation at Mapbox. It's been an Amazon customer for a long time. Garrett, thanks for coming on theCUBE.
Yeah, thanks for having us, John.
So you guys are in the middle of, I love the whole location-based / software developer integration. We've had many conversations on theCUBE around how engineers and developers are becoming embedded into the application, whether it's from a security standpoint, biometrics, all kinds of stuff being built into the app, and location, navigation.
That's right.
Is huge, from cars, everyone knows their car, a car map.
That's right.
GPS, satellites in space, it's complicated. It sounds easy, but I know it's hard.
Yeah.
We get the keynote going on today. Give us a quick update on Mapbox and then we'll talk about the keynote.
Yeah, you bet, John, that's right. So as you were saying, it really is, it's all about location intelligence and how does that get embedded into the applications and to the point you made, vehicles that are out there on the roads today. So we target developers. Those are our key customers, and we've got over 3.5 million registered on the platform today. They consume the modules that we build with APIs, SDKs, data sets, and more applications to accomplish whatever those location needs might be.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. You are a featured keynote presenter here at the Summit, which means Amazon thinks you're super important to share. Obviously you're a customer, so I know you've been a customer for a long time as a company, but what was your keynote about? What was the main theme? The developers are all here, you got the builders. What was your content? What did you present this morning on the keynote?
Yeah, well, this morning we really talked a lot about logistics, and the story that we told was, in the logistics industry there's a massive movement to shorter and shorter delivery windows. And so the story that we told was really around a 10-minute delivery. Now, have you ever wondered how you get a 10-minute delivery? You place an order on your phone and all of a sudden somebody shows up at your front doorstep. You ever wonder about that?
Some sort of supply chain, someone's waiting in the wings for my call?
Yeah, well that's right.
John's about to order sometime soon.
That's
Be
right.
ready, stage all these assets.
That's right, they're all ready for you. But there's actually a tremendous amount that actually goes into that. And so it really starts with designing the right distribution system up front. And so we've got tools and applications and APIs that support that. And really, it's every single step of the way, location is a critical aspect to making that delivery happen and getting it to a customer's doorstep in 10 minutes or less. And so how are you understanding the real-time road graph that underlies a driver going from perhaps a dark store or dark kitchen to getting in front of a customer in 10 minutes with hot food?
I mean, this is a big point. I was just joking about waiting for me, you know that, but the point is that it's not obvious, but it sounds really hard, and I know it's hard because to have that delivery, a lot of things have to happen. It's not just knowing location.
That's exactly right.
So can you just peel back the covers on that? What's going on there?
Yeah, so imagine this, is it really starts, as I was saying, with designing that distribution system. And it's putting in place, where you might not expect it, is actually putting in place a retail store. But these aren't any retail stores, right? These are dark stores, these are dark kitchens that are strategically placed as close as possible to customer density so that you can actually shorten that window as much as possible to get you whatever that order might be. But from there, it actually goes quite a bit further. When an order actually comes in, you've got to be able to understand, how do I assign a driver to get that order to the customer in that very short period of time? More often than not, it's getting it to the driver that can get there the fastest. Once you've got the right driver identified, how are you actually then going to enable them to get from point A to B to get that order, and then perhaps from B to C to get to your front door? Being able to do turn-by-turn navigation that reflects everything that's happening in the real world to be able to get there on a timely way is critical. And then wrapping around that, actually the end customer's experience, your experience with how are you placing that order? How are you using Mapbox services to do that? How are you being able to track on your application and say, well, great, I expect 10 minutes and they're 5 minutes away, they're going to show up. Our APIs and SDKs power that experience.
I want to get into the product in a second, but you brought up something I think is important to highlight. One is dark kitchens, dark stores.
That's right.
Okay, a term people may or may not have heard of. We all have experience in COVID going to our favorite restaurant, which has been kind of downsized because of the COVID, and we're waiting for our food and someone comes in from another delivery service standing in line next to us, just pick something up. I mean, they're going through the front door. That's like the the branded storage. So is it right to say that dark kitchens are essentially replicas of the store to minimize that traffic, but also to be efficient for something else?
That's right. It actually even goes further than that. There are many restaurant brands now that only exist as a brand. They don't have a restaurant that you can go to and sit down and have that meal. They actually only operate dark kitchens to serve that demand of people wanting to order up, hey, I want my food, I want it now. Yeah. Those brands exist to serve that need.
All right, so great for the definition. We just defined dark kitchens, dark stores. But it also brings, I want to get your reaction to this before we get into the product, because this is a trend. This is not like a one-off thing.
That's right.
It's not a pulled forward TAM, a market that was COVID enabled. This is actually a user experience inflection point.
That's right.
Can you share your vision on what this means? Because there's mobile ordering, there's the dynamics of the kitchens as a supplier of something in stores, so that's content or a product that's being delivered to a consumer via the web. So now there's got to be a whole other refactoring of the operating environment. That's what's happening. Is that, might get that right?
No, that's exactly right. And even if you step back even further and you think about the journey that the logistics industry has been on, it used to be that 2 days was that really exciting delivery time, right? And everybody got super excited. Then it became next day, then it became same day, and now it's become 10 minutes, and even some companies are out there offering 7-minute deliveries, right? And in order to do that, you've got to completely retool your business. Yeah. So you can think about the logistics industry really existing on two continuums. You've got pre-planned deliveries on one hand and on-demand deliveries on the other. Yeah. And there are two parallel distribution systems and ecosystems and industries really springing up to serve those different types of demand.
So you've been an Amazon Web Services customer for how many years?
Since 2013 in our founding. And actually we're really proud to say that we were born on Amazon and we have scaled on Amazon.
How are they helping you scale? What are they doing to help you?
Well, I'd say just about everything. And if you think about the services that Amazon provides for us, they power every single step of our business along the way. And so I'll give you an example. We can walk through that with some of the technology. If you think about, again, how do you get 10 minutes? You got to have a pretty precise understanding of what's going on in the real world. And so to do that, for us, it all starts with collecting billions and billions of data points from sensors that are out there in the world. We stream that into our technology stack, starting at the very beginning with Amazon Kinesis. So that's just the start, but then that feeds into our entire technology stack that all runs on top of AWS, to where we're running our own AI models that we use Amazon SageMaker to make, and then stream it back out to through our APIs to our SDKs and applications that sit on the edge. Again, all leveraging Amazon technology.
Well, I think this is a great use case, and I'll get back to the Mapbox in a second, but Amazon, you guys are executing what I call the super cloud vision, which is Snowflake, you guys building on their CapEx leverage, you're building a super cloud on your own. It's your app, it's your cloud.
That's right, that's right. So if you think about it, and actually just stepping back for a moment and talking about Mapbox for a second is, what Mapbox can do is provide the most accurate digital representation of the physical world. Think about the Mapbox technology delivering the most accurate digital twin of Mother Earth, right? That's what we do. And the way that we do that is to consume, as I said earlier, vast amounts of data.
Yep.
We've got powerful AI that structures that data, and then really robust and scalable infrastructure that underpins all of that. Now, the benefit of working with a company like AWS is that they take care of that third point, which means we get to go focus on the first two, which is how we differentiate and build our business.
And that's exactly the model of how you win in the cloud, in my opinion. That's the go big piece. And there's tools to fit in white spaces, but I think that's the right formula. Okay, let's get back to Mapbox. I know you got news, you got the Mapbox Fleet SDK you announced. I want to hold on that, we'll get to it in a second. Let's get back to what you guys are providing, that example as you have this new operating environment of how delivery and supply chain, and that's the example. I want to know how your technology is making all that work, because I was just talking to someone last night about this. Webvan was Web 1.0 and crashed, never was successful. Instacart is kind of hurting. So maybe they're optimized, you could save them. I mean, because the economics got to work. If they don't have the underlying system built, that might fail. So there'll be probably the third version that gets it right, maybe with Mapbox. Again, I'm speculating, but I'll let you talk. How does Mapbox solve that problem?
It's interesting. If you come back to that analogy we're using with AWS and how do you use AWS to win in the cloud, it's the same story for Mapbox of how do you win in the location industry. And what we do is provide those same tool sets of APIs and SDKs that can go power those logistics companies like an Instacart, who's a great customer of ours, to run their logistics business on top of it. Again, it's all about how do you provide technology that allows your customers to focus on what matters from a differentiation perspective as they focus on building their business.
And you think your economics is going to enable these people to be successful?
100%.
That's the goal.
100%.
All right, so another thing that I want to bring up is the Fleet SDK. What was the news that you announced today? Can you quickly share the news on what this is?
Yeah, absolutely, I appreciate that, John. Yeah, so today, on the eve of Earth Day, we're very excited to announce Mapbox Fleet going into our beta launch. And what Mapbox Fleet is a set of tools, an application that allows our customers to more efficiently route their vehicles, which means lowering their fuel consumption, and at the same time, more efficiently dispatching those vehicles, which means that you can get more done with fewer assets. Essentially, how do you get more packages onto a single vehicle to get those to the customers? Now, you may be watching the news and understanding there's a tremendous explosion of delivery going on. And that's fantastic, right? That's great business for our logistics customers, good business for us too. What's happening though is that as those volumes are ballooning, everybody's all of a sudden really looking at their cost structures and trying to understand, how do I manage this, right? I have efficiency targets as a business, maybe I've been really focused on customer acquisition, now it's time to flip the model and really understand the economics of profitable growth. We help with that focus on efficiency. But the double-edged sword with growth and running a logistics business is that you actually have a tremendous amount of carbon emissions that are associated with that. For a car to show up or a truck to show up to deliver something to your house, there are emissions associated with that. So what we find is that we're able to not only drive dollar savings for our customers, but also, as part of that, with the efficiency angle, really help to drive down the overall carbon impact and the carbon footprint of what they do.
And how do you do that?
Well, it's the efficiency lens, right? So if somebody is driving 20% fewer miles, they're going to emit 20% fewer.
Okay, got it. So it's a numbers game across the board with actual measurement.
That's exactly right.
And optimization paths, all kinds of navigation.
That's exactly right. So embedded within Mapbox Fleet application are those optimization algorithms.
So you got a platform that's setting up for the next level delivery system / new way to connect people to goods and services and other things, getting from point A to point B. You got the sustainability check. You're in the cloud, born in the cloud scale. I can't go out asking, if you're on Amazon, you do all this cool stuff, there's got to be a machine learning and AI angle. So what is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Guilty as charged, I would say, John. So look, I think
AI and sustainability are going to be, I think, filings in the future. We've been talking about this on theCUBE. If you're not an AI company and doing force for good stuff, I think there's going to be mandatory requirements on those.
I couldn't agree more. I think the ESG agenda is an incredibly important one that's core to Mapbox, has been since the founding of the company back in 2013. But if you look at how does AI and ML fit into Mapbox, it does that in a number of different ways. And really when we come back to this idea of Mapbox creating a digital twin of the Earth, the way that we do that is through ingesting a tremendous amount of sensor data, right? You can imagine Mapbox customers on any given week drive billions of miles. We're capturing all of that telemetry data to understand and make sense of what does that mean for the world. That allows us to push, in any given day, 700,000 updates to our underlying geolocation technology stack, and at the same time provide insights as to exactly what's happening. Are there roadside incidents? Are there issues with traffic? So by collecting all of that data, we run incredibly powerful AI models on top of it that allow us to create the real world representation of what's happening. So that's exactly how it works.
As they say in the big data AI world is, you guys have a tremendous observation space. You're looking at a lot of surface area data.
That's exactly right.
Across multiple workloads and apps.
That's exactly right.
And you can connect those dots with the right AI.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I think, coming back to your point around sustainability, I do think that the AI and ML capabilities that are being delivered are going to be paramount to that. It being such a fundamental aspect to what Mapbox does as a business allows us to launch these game-changing solutions like Mapbox Fleet. And staying on that kind of environmental and sustainable kick for a second, just last week, we launched our EV routing API that powers the next generation of EV vehicles. So AI, ML, sustainability, if it's not core to a business today, it's got to very quickly become core.
It's really interesting. I really think what we're teasing out here, and it's fun to talk about it now because we'll look back at it later, 10 years or more, and say, wow, this has completely refactored the industry and lives and the planet ultimately, right? So this is a kind of got a force for good built into the system natively.
That's right. That's exactly right.
It's interesting. Garrett, thanks so much for sharing the story. I'll give you the last word. Share with the audience what you guys are up to, what you're promoting, what you're looking for. Are you hiring? Is there a call to action you want to share? Give the plug for the company.
Yeah, absolutely. Hiring like crazy. Come join Mapbox and build the future of geolocation and intelligent location services with us. Thanks so much for the time, John.
Thanks for coming on. CUBE coverage here in San Francisco, California. Moscone Center back at live events. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. Stay with us as day 2 wraps down. Remember, New York City this summer will be there as well. CUBE coverage of more cloud coverage events are back. Thanks for watching.